What is up, guys? Jake from One Hive here with the next Coffee and Clash video. As always, I will not be responding to comments in the comments section, but please leave me questions for future Coffee and Clash videos because as you'll see in some of these, they're guys that have left them will realize some of these are from weeks and weeks back. So leave me questions. I might get to them eventually. You guys, again, always bring amazing questions, so I appreciate that. Let's get started. The first one is from Sean Haggard. Hey Jake, did you watch anything from the Nordic tournament? I appreciate Supercell's efforts, but the quote top trophy clans that they brought were so skill lacking. Do you think you could try working with Supercell to arrange a war community tournament in the same style? Yeah, I did. I've watched actually all the live events just because I want to be up to date on what they're doing and how that whole arena, that esports arena for them is progressing. And yeah, it's a shame because nothing against the guys that were there, but from my understanding is to qualify for these things, they have trophy pushing events and then call those guys the top war guys for those countries or whatever, which is absolutely insane. It's two different skill sets. Uh, Nothing overlaps basically. So really strange way to do it. As far as me reaching out to Supercell, I think you guys know by now they are not responding to me. I would love to have some kind of collaboration with them to help them develop these war type things with actual war guys to where the community gets to see what's possible and to progress it that way. But I would not hold my breath. I feel like they place the pushers at the top of the heap as far as what they believe are the best clashers out there. And for the foreseeable future, I don't see that changing. So we'll see. Let's see. What again? Okay. Okay, I'm not even gonna do that. EU34. Not even gonna try that one. I'm sure every clan has clanmates that do not get along with each other at one point in time. Skilled and competitive players also come with big egos. How do you guys deal with the clan drama? What would you do if One Hive were to split? That's a great question because you're absolutely right. You know, having 30, 40 people 50 people possibly in a single clan, much less a clan family that has hundreds of members like One Hive. You're going to have people butt heads and personalities clash and all that stuff. So we just don't allow it really. I mean, if you can't mesh with what we've got going on, regardless of how good you are, you're probably going to be asked to leave. And it has happened. There's been some guys that if I started dropping names, you would know them very well that were simply asked to leave because they couldn't get along. You know, they just caused trouble or there was always an argument that they were involved in, it seemed like, and eventually it's just like, okay, guys, it's not working out. Again, it doesn't, the skill level is great and that's good, but that's not the most important thing. The family and the environment that we've built is more important than that. There's a lot of good attackers out there and a lot of them that everybody can get along with. So we just ask them to leave, man. Andrew Schwartz. As mid-level Town Hall 8, do you think it is worth it to practice Town Hall 9-ish strategies, such as Go Valo instead of Go Laloon and Go Ho, even though I could still 3-star most Town Hall 8s with Hogs and Dragons? Great question, and yes, I do. I think that you need to be selective about when you do it. I wouldn't, be practicing something you're not really skilled in the middle of a very close war. But when you have blowout wars and stuff like that, it is absolutely worth testing those things out, learning the way different troops react and what you can do with different things. It will make your transition to Town Hall 9 a little easier. Again, good question, man. Know Me the Beast. Most of us learned how to 3-star by watching your videos. How did you learn how to 3-star in all those strats? Basically from my clanmates. You guys can go back to, it's a neat thing, and I know it's who has time to do it, but you can go back to the start of the war recaps and just sort of work your way forward, and you can literally see the evolution of not only me, but the entire clan. We learned as we went, and we got better as we went. We're still learning. We're still getting better. And it's just one of those things to where you've got, we watched other videos, we watched our attacks, we watched enemy attacks, and we take things from everything we find and, we add it to our attacks. We refine, we make things better constantly. And that's how you do it. And that's how I learned, back when Rex was in the clan, obviously he was a huge impact on me, taught me a lot of things. And again, all the guys that not only are in One Hive right now, but have come through One Hive, I've been taught so many things by tons of them. So it's just a cumulative learning group effort. That's the best way to put it. The Chess Dude 9. Hey Jake, you've stated that Clash of Clans didn't have a competitive side before war. That being said, what are your thoughts on competition in trophy pushing or pushing in general? you're setting me up here, and I guess I'm taking the bait, and I'm going to get some hate for this. But guys, you can't really say that pushing is a skill-based competition at this point in the game. If you have max level heroes and max level troops, you can push as high as you want to. You will literally, if you have any skill, will never fail a raid. You will never fail to get 1 star. Most of the time, it's very easy to get 2 stars if you just learn that skill set. So it's just a matter of who's got the most time, who's willing to put the most time into it, which props to those guys that do it. Some of them spend, 8-10 hours a day pushing, and that's an amazing commitment. But to say that it's some type of, to me, that's not competition. Again, I know I'm going to get hate for it, but just to me, it's not. It's not me versus you type thing in the competitive sense of the word. It's just who's willing to commit the most to it. So that's my opinion on pushing. Pablo Gutierrez. I'm at Titan 2. I use Go Wipe, and I 3-star max Town Hall 10. So, no, you don't. Let's see. Austin Perky. Here's another. I've heard you and others say that any base can be 3-starred, but do you truly believe that? All the bases I've seen you shown on yours and Powerbank's channels are either poor base designs or not fully maxed. I don't know if you're talking about Town Hall 9s or Town Hall 10s. I'm assuming you've got to be talking about Town Hall 10s because obviously we've shown some of the top Town Hall 9 bases in the world as far as how well they're laid out and fully maxed out and etc. So it would have to be Town Hall 10s, and we've shown max Town Hall 10s too. So that comment really doesn't make sense to me. But to answer your question, yes, I do believe that, and that segues into another question here from Waz Goodify. Good. How am I missing this? Waz Goodify. I don't know. Do you truly think it's impossible to 3-star good Town Hall 10 bases without the use of iMod? That is really my goal, but it's naive for me to think that. The State of One Hive address and the One Hive podcast really opened my eyes to how frequent the use of iMod is. Yeah, the reason I brought that question in is because any base can be 3-starred, and modding has simply proven that. Guys, a mod or a cheat does not give you a higher level king or queen. It doesn't give you more troops. It doesn't give you more spells or troop space or anything like that. It simply gives you more tries. So the fact is that the same attack could be done on the first try with enough planning, enough knowledge, or maybe a cleanup attack, whatever you want to call it. The same attack could be done without cheating, and therefore any base can be 3-starred. Now, the likelihood of that obviously is very, very low. If you're talking about a max Town Hall 10, that's a good layout, the likelihood of getting it right on the first attack is very, very, very low. But obviously it can be done because, like I said, nothing's changed when you, on that 100th try, nothing's changed except for the way you're deploying your troops. Hope that makes sense. Tractor 2255. Do you see any other good games on the horizon after Clash burns out or modding kills it that will be on the same level as Clash of Clans? Have you ever looked at Game of War, etc.? Of course, you guys know now I'm playing on my other channel, Vainglory, but it's totally not. Someone called it a Clash killer, and I just don't believe that because it's totally not even in the same genre. I mean, you can't even compare the two. So I definitely don't see anything right now as far as an attack strategy base building game that's got the edge on Clash of Clans. I'm sure it will come. Someone will do it better. That's just the nature of the beast. Someone eventually will say, "Hey, I can do this and do it better," and we'll probably all be playing that in 5 years. But right now, if you look at games like Rival Kingdoms and things like that I've tried, the level of strategy is just not there. And to me, it's a simple thing. I don't know why other games have not found this. When you're talking about 200 troop space, 220 troop space, 240 troop space, and you might have, let's say on an average attack, 40, 50, maybe 60 actual, you're tapping the screen 40, 50, 60 times to deploy all your troops. Clearly, the strategy in that compared to something like Rival Kingdoms where you might only have 4 or 5 different groups of troops that you can send in. So literally, you're only tapping the screen 4 or 5 times to deploy all of your troops. Now, you've got spells and things like that, but the strategy can't be as advanced. You can't create funnels. You can't do all those things that you can do inside a Clash that make an attack, so strategic. And I don't know why other games that build these base building games haven't just realized how simple that is. You have to have, the more times you tap the screen in a given attack, the more strategy that is involved, in my opinion. And I've not seen anything else that can compare to it. So we'll see what happens in the future, though. Iron Maniac. You think Town Hall 10 needs an offensive buff or defensive buff to allow people to 3-star them a little more easier so you can at least have a chance to beat a modding clan? I don't think it has anything to do with a modding clan. Guys, you have to realize, and I think we're falling into this trap, and it's mind-boggling. It blows me away, and I was talking to some guys about it the other day. You can't base a game, you can't tweak a game or set the difficulty level of a game based off of people that cheat in that game. That's insane. But it's so accepted in Clash of Clans that a lot of times that's what we're talking about. How can we make it to where we're on a level playing field because they're just here. We just accepted the fact that it's part of the game, which I've never played a game, I've never heard of a game to where cheating is so entrenched and ensconced in the game to where that's just the way the community thinks about it. So you can't think about it that way. Obviously, the Town Hall 10 needs an offensive buff. I talked about it on the podcast recently. You've had cannons level increased, you had archer tower levels increased, you had mortars increased, you had Teslas increased, all of that with no offensive balance to it. Nothing to balance that out offensively, and Town Hall 10s were already hard to 3-star. It's just they need to buff offense to balance it out to where you've got closer to a Town Hall 9 like difficulty level to where it's still hard. I mean, it should be very, very hard to 3-star max Town Hall 10, but it should be possible with a beautiful attack. And it's really, like I said, it's 1 out of 100 right now. So it's just out of whack, and they need to buff the offense. Musa Zarman. All right, I'm going to try to get through this because it's hard to read. ISK, man, don't even show a effing raid, you effing redneck shit cult. Musa, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that can be considered a rational thought. Everyone watching this channel is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. All right, moving on. Harshit Sinha, and I guess he said call him Sin. Hey Jake, do you think that Supercell will ever allow us to use heroes in war when they're being upgraded? No, I don't. I've given up on that, and I think you guys should too. We have been asking that literally. That's been asked for since the second day that war came out. As soon as everybody started those attacks, and it was that collective moan of everybody that had a hero upgrading, including myself, there was an outcry for we needed to have these heroes available when they're upgrading. And here we are a year and I guess a half later. Is that right? Yeah, almost a year and a half, maybe more than that. And we don't have it. So I've given up on it. I really think you guys should too. Connor Sawyer. Is the clan castle still worth centering perfectly in the middle of the base after the recent release of the poison spell? That's a good question because especially after the next update of the poison spell, where you can just lure them out and drop it right on them in the middle of the base, just wait the 10, 12 seconds and let them kill everything in there if it's the right troops. I don't think it's as important, but here's the problem. What else are you going to put in the center of the base? A queen is absolutely the wrong thing to put in the center of the base. That allows you to come from every direction to kill however you want to. So I think it's still the best option to put in the center of the base. You don't want to just give them the CC, or at least make them work for it a little bit. That's my opinion anyways. Mandong. Duong. I guess I say that. What's your opinion if Supercell puts some sort of tag on players that are mods so everyone can see it? Why do you think Supercell hasn't done it? Is it because I'm sure they can detect who mods and who doesn't very easily? Thanks for your time and effort on the videos. Guys, I've had some people say, stop talking about these mod questions, but you don't understand about 1 out of every 3 I get have to do with mods. I don't know why that is. I think it's just because One Hive is sort of the symbol for anti-mod in the game, for fair play, and so people they come to us for this information and for our opinions and to see what what is being done or what could be done. And a symbol. Here's the thing: if they can detect it to put a symbol on someone's name, then the question is not should they put a symbol on their name. But why? Why would you not just ban them and remove them from the game? I guess I'm hardcore about it. I would not even give them a chance. I would say if I could detect them tomorrow, we would wake up and they would all be banned, perma-banned. You feel free to roll a new account if you want to. When we detect it, we'll perma-ban that one if you do it again. I would be okay with it though. I guess I could live with it if they woke up tomorrow and said, "Hey, you've all got 48 hours. Come Monday morning, if we can detect it, and if we can, you're going to be perma-banned." Putting a tag on someone's name, what is that? What is that? That's just put it in the game if you're going to do that. Let us all use it. You know what I mean? At that point, that's acceptance. So if you're going to accept it, just put it in the game. This slap on the wrist, this 31-day ban stuff, it's what's got us where we're at. You know, I don't have good answers for stuff besides permaban. That's the only surefire deterrent. And funny, how much longer do you see yourself playing Clash? Love your vids. Keep up the great work. Appreciate it. I don't know. I can see myself not playing, not immediately or soon, but it's definitely something that I know is coming. It's not, I don't have any illusions of playing this game for another 10 years, I don't think. It will have a lot to do. It will hinge heavily on the action Supercell takes in the next 3 to 6 months. If this Supercell update in October is a flop and they don't give us War Guys something to keep the game interesting, if they never address modding, if all these things, it could be sooner than later. But I would say minimum I've got another 6 months in me probably. But I could be surprised if they really mess stuff up even further or continue just to leave it as it is and nothing changes. Who knows? Maybe sooner, but I'd say maximum 2 years, minimum 6 months. That's just a guess. I don't know. White Death. Hey, Jake, my question is, where do you think the clan would be without you? And do you think One Hive will still thrive when you move on? I think the clan would still be a very, very good war clan because they were a very, very good war clan when I joined them. So I don't think that has anything to do with me. I think we would probably not be as well known just simply because the channel has a lot of viewers and a lot of people that hear the name and know the name, and it's, like I said, synonymous with fair play and all the things like that in the game. And I think I've helped that along, which I'm proud of. But I don't think either myself or the clan would be, lost without the other. Again, they were a great clan when I joined, and as far as me, I would probably I'd probably be done with the game if it wasn't for the channel, not so much as the clan. I love everybody in One Hive, but who knows? If this hadn't gone the way it went, I might have been bored with the game by now. I don't know. But the clan would be fine, and I think the clan will be fine when I move on. I really do. The name is established. People know who they are. They know that's where you go to join a really good fair play clan, learn super, super high level strategies and all that stuff. So I think they're going to be just fine, regardless of whether I'm around or not. All right, guys, that is all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thank you for the questions. They're always wonderful. I enjoy reading them and talking to you guys. I feel like that's what this is. It's a conversation between me and the viewers, which is one of my favorite series that I do. So leave me some questions for future videos. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, Jake from One Hive, reminding you guys to suck less.